The member for Melbourne.
Mr. Speaker, my question is to the Prime Minister. After the government scrapped the carbon price, pollution went up. It went up in 2015, again in 2016 and this year too. You're making climate change worse, but over that time, wholesale electricity prices have doubled too. Prime Minister, instead of letting the climate deniers dictate your energy policy by legislating to ensure coal-fired power stays in the system longer, wouldn't it be better to re-regulate electricity prices, introduce an energy storage target and increase the renewable energy target so that we cut pollution, cut power bills and keep the lights on?
The Minister for the Environment and Energy.
Well, Mr Speaker, I hate to remind the member for Melbourne that when they were in coalition with the Labor government, they were last in power. Power prices increased by 100%, Mr Speaker. That was the Greens' legacy. And the confected outrage, the confected moral outrage from the Greens when it comes to climate policy is amazing. Because we know when those members on this side of the House were dealing with their constituents with Cyclone Debbie, and when the members on this side of the House were dealing with their constituents who were dealing with the fires in Sydney, who was out there on their soapbox blaming climate change, Mr Speaker? The member for Melbourne, and that was disgraceful. That was absolutely disgraceful, Mr Speaker. Now, it might be an inconvenient truth for the member for Melbourne that emissions in Australia are at their lowest level in 27 years, Mr Speaker. Their lowest level in 27 years in terms of GDP and per capita. Lowest level in 27 years. Even the electricity sector has been falling in the last 2 quarters. Now, the member for Melbourne refers to storage. It was the Prime Minister of this government, the Turnbull government, that for the first time put the issue of storage at the top of the policy agenda. What did the Labor Party do in South Australia about storage? Nothing. And now they have to spend $110 million on diesel generators that don't work when it's hot, Mr Speaker. They have to take more coal than before from Victoria across the Hayward Interconnector, and they have to spend hundreds of millions of dollars of taxpayers' money building a new gas-fired power station. What did the Labor Party ever do about storage? What did the Greens ever say about storage? That is why on this side of the House we've invested more than $200 million through a vast array of projects on storage, and we're investing in Snowy 2.0, Mr Speaker. But at the end of the day, if the lights don't stay on, then there's no point about reducing emissions. Our focus is on reliability and affordability while staying true to our international commitments. And that is why we've commissioned the expert advice from AEMO and from the ACCC, and it's on that advice that we have been acting to lower people's power prices.